We have a great time on the last day of party conference. People love to sing Land of Hope and Glory. It makes them proud when they sing it of their country, which of course they can now be.
Patriotic pomp which brings a glow to the cheeks of just about every Conservative conference goer. Land of Hope and Glory has become a fixture on the closing day. The conference impresario is Harvey Thomas. He scorns those who say that such flag-waving, tub-thumping nationalist sentiments are no longer appropriate.
There are always a few fusty old fuddy duddies in every political party, aren't they? Basically, I think they seem to resent people enjoying themselves, and that's wrong. People ought to enjoy their politics. It ought to be a bit of fun.
Political songs, of course, are meant to be fun. It's a way of demonstrating and reinforcing political identities, much in the way that supporters of rival football teams have their own chants. The best political sing-song around, and it has to be said there aren't all that many, is the Glee Club on the last night of the Liberal Democrats conference. Ralph Bancroft is the long-serving Master of Ceremonies.
It started out as a tradition inside the old Liberal Party, with just a few individuals gathering around a piano on the last night of conference, singing a few old political songs. And it's really reviving that kind of tradition, I think, that people find it so enjoyable.
The vigour of the vocal delivery makes up for any occasional disharmony in the rendition of political ballads, ancient and modern, put to tunes as unlikely as Climb Every Mountain. And remember, many of those attending this late-night sing-song are, if you catch my drift, tired and emotional.
One of the reasons why liberalism is an endearing political philosophy is it can see the humorous side of politics as well as the serious side, and is prepared to poke fun at its opponents but also at itself. And that's why songs like Climb Every Staircase have proved very popular at the Glee Club.
But the favourite by far is a century old, written in support of a single tax on land values. That campaign is long forgotten. The land is still sung.
The land was God who made the land. The land, the ground on which we stand. Why should we be beggars with the ballot in our hand? God made the land for the people.
It finishes up with the chorus, why should we be beggars with the ballot in our hand? God gave the land to the people. So it's a song which summarises the democratic case.
This is the former Labour Party leader, Michael Foot.
I was brought up in a Liberal household, and my father was a Liberal Member of Parliament, a radical Liberal, and he taught me the song. And the Lang song was the one which really seemed to strike terror into the hearts and minds of the landlords, as it should.
Curiously, The Land has never been commercially recorded, while the more avowedly socialist songs have been done to death. Now out of favour because of its communist connotations, the Internationale is also out of date. Arise, ye starvelings, from your slumbers, it opens. Arise, ye criminals of want. A slogan for the 1890s, perhaps, but not the 1990s. It's among the political songs given a new treatment by Billy Bragg, that rare beast, a socialist pop star.
For the struggle carries on. The Internationale unites the world in song.
The old songs have their place, they're part of our tradition, but whether or not they actually have a relevance today, that's what I have a problem with, which is for why I wrote not only new lyrics to the International, but also the new tune back into the Red Flag, which was originally a much more jaunty tune.
The people's flag is deepest red, it's shrouded off the martyred dead. And ere the limbs grew stiff and cold, their hearts' blood died in every fold. Then raged the sky.
The red flag, too, is not exactly modern. It's language laden with dated socialist symbolism. But it's still sung every year to the more customary Tannenbaum tune at the Labour Party conference. But what fate the red flag as Labour becomes less ideological and abandons any notion of the class struggle? Clare Short, a member of Labour's national executive, says there are mixed emotions.
We're slightly embarrassed by the words, but we love the old song. It's a very old-fashioned sort of notion of a sort of revolutionary struggle for socialism, and I guess what we're going to have to do after time is sing it amongst ourselves when we're having our celebrations and allow ourselves to be nostalgic. But probably find other songs for the sort of big public occasions. I suspect that's what we'll have to do.
But Labour's leaders still shudder at the memory of their most recent attempt to commission a new tune. Meet the challenge, make the change.
Meet the challenge, make the change. It must never be the same. We can do it, you and I together.
The verdict on that ranged from disappointing to dreadful. It broke the cardinal rule for any political song: adopt a familiar melody. Ralph Bancroft says that's why so many are put to the tunes of hymns or folk songs.
The origin of the political song was as a rallying call for your supporters. And in the day and age when we didn't have radio and we didn't have television, the political song was actually the mass medium of politics. And in order for that to be successful, in order to rally your supporters around you, you chose the popular tunes that people were singing and knew the tunes too.
At last year's Labour conference, the organisers turned to a very old tune to give the party a new gloss. Jerusalem, the work of the late 18th century visionary William Blake, a choice which Billy Bragg warmly applauds.
It's always been to me a great left-wing anthem. I think Jerusalem is a very relevant song. It's a song that's still sung regularly. It's a song that a lot of people know. And it's a song that evokes a caring England, an England that we perhaps have lost in the last 10 years. Land of Hope and Glory says absolutely nothing to me. Whereas Jerusalem really touches something deep in my emotional beliefs.
Of all these political anthems, old and new, Michael Foot's favourite is that song he first heard as a boy.
There's been some very good songs. The International was a song which came back to England, having travelled all round the continent, and the Red Flag too, which became more officially the Labour Party song than any others. All of them are very good songs, but for sheer rhythm and effectiveness and for a simple democratic message, I think the Land Song still retains the vibrance and the rhythm that I've mentioned.
The land was called to name the land, the ground on which we stand. Why should we be beggars with the ballot in our hand? God made the land for the people.